Hello, everybody, and welcome to the ICSB 2025 podcast. We're just weeks away from the 24th Annual International Conference on Systems Biology, which is coming to Dublin in early October. We're very fortunate to be joined by ICSB's chair, Walter Kolch, who's also the principal investigator and director of Systems Biology Ireland. We're also joined by Hugh Doyle, the grants manager of SBI, and Oleksii Rukhlenko, who's going to be one of the speakers at ICSB 2025. So, guys, you're very welcome. And we're only a couple of weeks out. So, Walter, I'll start with yourself. ICSB 2025, how did it come about that this was something on your radar to try and bring to Dublin? And what's been the journey to bring it to Dublin?
Yeah, we are very excited to host this in Dublin this year. So this is one of the longest running and biggest conferences in systems biology. It's rotating around continents, so it's in North America, Asia, Europe, and we are delighted to hosting it in Europe this year in Dublin. So it came about simply by being a member of the community, and it's actually a very nice, vibrant community. Pleasure to be part of, and the program which we have is also sort of reflecting where the field in systems biology is heading now.
Yeah, so the focus overall is systems biology for health. So I guess where did that come from, or why is that the particular focus, and is that reflective of what's going on in Ireland at the moment, or what led the committee to focus on that?
Yeah, I would say it's actually ongoing around the world. So we have made huge advances in the analysis of diseases, in particular the molecular analysis of diseases. We now have genome sequencing, we have proteomics, metabolomics, all these great molecular methods, which have made great strides in actually deciphering what's the basis of human disease. But what we are lacking is how to put it all together. And this is where systems biology comes in, because this is what systems biology does best, putting things together, providing understanding on a systems level, how actually all these molecular mechanisms work together to keep a body healthy, or what goes wrong in disease. So that's the motivation behind the conference. And this is a hugely timely topic, because at the moment we are overwhelmed with data. We have more data than we actually can understand, and data production is not the bottleneck anymore. The bottleneck has become the intelligence, the data interpretation, and this is what the conference is about.
And has the network or the community expanded then a lot over those 24 conferences? Because obviously, as technology becomes more accessible in general, people are kind of learning more, and it's become more applicable to a wide range of practitioners. So is the community changing, or is it a very set community that's been the same?
It is changing. I mean, there is a core, but it has very much developed in terms of application. So there's big focus now on things like drug discovery, focus on understanding things in three-dimensional context, like understanding tissues, organs, or whole persons. But it also has a lot of changed in terms of technologies, because now everybody knows we are living in the age of artificial intelligence. So this is a new tool which has come into systems biology, and this has come in rapidly and with a huge power. So there's increasingly applications for these very, very new technologies, and that mixture of having technological advances, really cool questions, and really cool answers. I think this is just a absolute exciting mixture which we have at the moment, where we have really a vibrant sort of atmosphere for discovery.
And I'd say that you're right. The questions in that conversation are going to be very interesting. Are we able to keep up with the rate of change of the technology, or how are you finding in that world? Is it because it seems outside of the systems biology world, the rate of change of AI and technological changes, we're struggling probably to keep up with it. So is it similar within your world?
Oh, yes, very much so. But this is exactly why conferences like this are important, because they enable you, to exchange knowledge, talk to your peers, to your colleagues and friends, and make new friends. And science always has lived from communication, but communication has never been as important as it is nowadays. With that overwhelming speed technology is hitting us at the moment. We need to put our brains together. We need to put our efforts together. And conferences like this accomplish exactly that. You can meet your colleagues and friends. You can talk about the big problems and also how we can solve the big problems.
Absolutely. It's even from the general conferencing world that we operate within, there's a feeling that AI and even misinformation online and different things like that have emphasized how critical it is for communities to come together at things like conferences where you have a discussion that's otherwise not possible. So I have no doubt that there's going to be fascinating discussions within the overall program. What are one or two highlights that you're very excited to, or is there any particular topics that you're very excited about? I know you're chairing your own kind of digital twin models and computational avatars. Give me a little bit of information about that one and maybe one or two others that are going to excite people.
Yeah, I mean, we have tried. So I'm only heading the organizing committee. So there's a number of other people involved. And then we have a very big, eminent scientific committee. So the program was really born in consultation with the organizing committee and the scientific committee. So because what we wanted to do is to reflect where the field is going at the moment and take different inputs on board. So I would say all the sessions are important. Of course, I have my favorites. And this is, of course, my own session, which is about digital twins. And Oleksii will tell you a little bit more about what we are doing there. But then there's also very, very exciting sessions on clinical support, decision support tools, because systems biology is now matured to the stage where we actually can take it to the clinic. You know, for a long time, it was addressing very fundamental biological questions, and we still do that. But we also can show now that answering these questions actually has an impact, because it allows us to bring all these great methods to the bedside and make it to the benefit of the patients. So that's, I think, what is really exciting. And then, of course, the sessions about the new artificial intelligence, machine learning approaches. And then another very big thing now at the moment is the use of systems biology for drug discovery and drug development, because in order to address the diseases we are facing, and we do face a tsunami of cancer, of neurodegenerative diseases, of obesity, diabetes. So we are confronted actually, you know, with the aging population, the big increase in all these three entities of diseases. We need new drugs, and we need not only better drugs, but we need drugs against completely new targets. And this is, again, where systems biology is really good. It can discover targets which we haven't seen before. It can discover new targets. And with the methods which we have now, I think that we can have a huge impact of systems biology on how we treat diseases and what we use as targets for new drugs. So these are the things, my personal favorites.
Yeah, no, they sound fascinating. So we're entering into a world of designer drugs with very specific targets, probably more so than general drugs addressing general problems.
Yeah, and then we can combine them, you know, in a very personalized fashion. And again, this is within the remit of systems biology, because not all drugs work for everybody. And we have learned this the hard way, but we have very consistently learned this now for a long time, that it's not the drugs which are poor, but we have to figure out how we combine them in a way that they actually work for particular individual patients. And that's not easy, but again, this is where this computational modeling, which is done by systems biology, comes in, because we can model individual patients now. These are the digital twins. And we can, on the computer, pick the best medication, try out different medications, and then only give the really optimal combination to the patient.
And how far away are we from having that ability in general hospitals of being able to compute that sort of data and utilize it for actual patient care, Walter?
Well, it's now in an experimental stage. So there are clinical trials using that. methodology, including trials where we are participating in, but there is also many people in the field striving towards clinical trials. It will take another 3 to 5 years before we have results from these clinical trials and before the method is actually going to be validated enough that we can roll it out on a larger scale level. But I would expect that within the next 5 years we will see the clinical trials. Hopefully the results will be positive, and then in another 5 to 10 years this will go into routine application, and you actually can have a scenario where you go to the doctor is a digital twin of yourself on the screen. You talk with the patient, or the doctor talks with you. You enter your data, and you can play through different scenarios and say, okay, look, I can give you this medication, but that was probably these side effects on you, but it would help alleviating the symptoms. But I can give you something milder, which may not be as well, but it may be much better tolerated. And what would you prefer? Should we go in aggressively, or would you rather prefer higher quality of life? So you can have this discussion all on the model, because you can simulate the effect of the treatment of the computer, and the patient and the doctor can actually, discuss what's the best choice.
That's very, very interesting. Oleksii, you're going to be contributing to the program, so you're going to be speaking. So why don't you give us a little bit of an overview of the role you're going to be playing within the conference?
So I'm presenting at a session led by Walter about digital twins. So I think that's the main reason why it's really probably the most interesting session. Of course, this is a little bit of a bias, is that all other things like personalized medicine, clinical decision support, new identification of new targets and new drugs, they all are supposed to greatly benefit from digital twins. Because the ultimate idea of digital twins is creating computer models so powerful and so predictive, so that they can serve both as a tool of clinical support when the digital twin can predict which treatment will be effective. They will show in cases when nothing works what new potential targets and what new potential drugs should be tested. So it's a great promise of all digital twin project is to basically provide a useful tool which will be used in all other important pieces of systems biology, like precision medicine, new drug development, everywhere it will have some niche where it's highly unmet need for such tool. This is why I think this is the most exciting session. It's amongst many other exciting sessions. And personally, I will present there exactly the probably small examples for a bigger project, but when success examples where it already works. Because there is a lot of effort in AI and in machine learning, which is unfortunately very often ends at the level of just in silico work. And there is still a lot of data on a lot of biological work which do not still benefit from these AI developments. So my aim is to present the cases where there exists a successful bridge, where we start from computational modeling, but we end up with very specific predictions which work in the lab and which can potentially have in the future impact on the clinic. So this bridge between huge AI developments and huge data generation, how to make from one to the other and to some validation, and when it works, is exactly what mostly excites me and what will I present from my personal work.
Oh, that's fascinating. And it's great that there's already evidence of examples that this is not hypothetical, this is actually capable of delivering these results. And you touched upon clinical decision support. So I guess for either of you, who benefits most from being in the room at ICSB? Is it researchers primarily? I imagine it's researchers primarily, Walter, but there's also probably value for other practitioners coming in to see where the direction of travel in this space is going, that this is a window, as you say, over the next 5 to 10 years that could dramatically change the way that healthcare services provided.
Yeah, I mean, of course, researchers are the main target, but as you Absolutely correctly said. This is the direction of travel. The direction of travel is healthcare practitioners, pharmaceutical industry, but also technology providers. So these are also the people whom we would like to see at the conference, because this is the field which will translate the research findings into practice.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And one of the things I was hugely encouraged at when I looked at the program was the range of international speakers, because there's practitioners from Germany, Ireland, the UK, even further afield. You've got a good mix of representation from lots of different bodies coming in and talking.
Yeah, I mean, this is important because the scientific community is global, and we all benefit from exchanging ideas and bringing people together from different parts of the world in one place enables that intense dialogue and this conversation.
Yeah,
And
brilliant.
the best ideas are always born in conversation. The best ideas are always born over a coffee or just talking to somebody, and the sparks really fly when you have sort of intellectual input from different fields, different perspectives crossing each other.
Absolutely. And just for anyone who is kind of listening to this and they're kind of like, I actually have something that I want to be part of the program, it's not fully closed yet. There's still an opportunity for poster presentations still to be submitted. The oral presentations are closed, but it's right at the start of September that the poster
Yep.
presentations close. So just what words of encouragement for anyone who may be still on the fence about whether they would contribute?
Well, the poster presentations are still open till 1st of September. Of course, you also can register without the poster. But I think, at least for me, the big attraction is that it's a hugely exciting time, and it's a hugely exciting community, and it's a very interesting topic. So what are you waiting for?
What are you waiting for, indeed? That regular registration goes up until the 6th of September, and
Yeah.
there's obviously late registration after that, but I would encourage everybody to go and register, and if you have something to submit as well, absolutely do. I'm going to bring back in Hugh Doyle, Dr. Hugh Doyle, who's the grants manager for SBI. So, Hugh, we've heard lots about the program and some of the exciting discussions, but as Walter touched upon, sometimes it's over the coffee or a social discussion that some of this progress is made. And what sort of experience do you think people are going to have coming to Dublin? Dublin is a well-renowned conference city that people love coming to it. So what do you think people have in store for them?
Well, I mean, Dublin is a historic city. It's one of the most visited places in Europe. There's a lot to see in Dublin, and what we try to do is structure a social program so you'll get at least a taste of it, and you have something to come back to or tell your friends about how your time in Dublin. So, we're starting off with just a gentle introduction to the community on the Sunday afternoon. We'll have a plenary talk from Professor Sabrina Spencer to set the tone, start thinking about systems biology. And then there's an extended reception where you get to meet your colleagues, get a chance to talk to people you wouldn't normally get a chance to talk to, students, leaders in their field, academics, clinicians, healthcare professionals, people from industry. They all get to mix together and just to exchange ideas, or just to meet each other and see each other in person. It's relatively rare now to actually get to meet people in person, except for at these conferences. So that's what we'd like to do, as kind of to just introduce ourselves, introduce Dublin to the community, and allow the community to introduce themselves to each other. And this theme is continued on. We have a lovely conference dinner location we've organised in the Custom House Quay building. It's right in the historic part of Dublin. It's right beside our Customs House. Dublin's a port city, and for years its economy has been very much linked to its trade. And you get to have a dinner, have a few drinks, have a few conversations. It might spark a new collaboration, it might spark a new friendship, but all that being done in the historic parts of Dublin.
It's just to add to that, Hugh, it's where you're having that dinner down in the Custom House Quay is the venue was opened up in 2017, so it's relatively new, but it's in the 200-year-old cargo vault for the Docklands, so people will really enjoy it. It's something that connects the old version of Dublin to the modern version. It's the Docklands in Dublin is the meeting of the financial quarter where a lot happens, but it's also as Hugh touched upon, it's a port city. So one of the good things overall, even before we go to some of the other social parts, Hugh, is that the actual conference venue in the Dublin Royal Convention Centre is one of the new additions to the city over the past couple of years, and it's a beautiful venue that's actually set literally at the back door of Dublin Castle, one of the most historic sites in Dublin City, and right in the heart of the city. So anyone who's coming in, one of the big things that any conferences we deal with is that unlike some conference cities where you may be on the outskirts of the city or anything else, we could not be more central into like a place where you can go and discover the city as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, as you said, we're right beside Dublin Castle, which is one of the oldest administrative centres in Dublin. It's literally 5 minutes of walk away from the actual Dove Linn, the original black pool after which Dublin is named. You can actually see where Dublin started, right around that little Dove Linn. What we've tried to do, as well as the conversations you'll have during the conference, between sessions, during the poster sessions, we've organized a social program on the Tuesday to allow you to explore the Dublin you want to see. I mean, we'll start off by, obviously, Ireland is famous for its cultural heritage, especially its music. And one of the first things we've done is to organize a trip to the Windmill Lane Studios. This is one of the most famous studios, certainly in Europe, possibly the world. We've had everybody from U2, the Rolling Stones, more recently the likes of Hozier. We even had Kylie Minogue and Ed Sheeran there as well. So it's a situation where you can actually arrive in, see the studio, and actually have a go at recording yourself. See, either individually or as a group. And you never know, your next big break in pop music might start at that session as well. You might just be picked up. You might not. There's no guarantees with that. Of course, Ireland's very well known for its culture, its socializing. And one of the things we've also organized is a trip to the Guinness Storehouse. It's the #1 attraction in Ireland, has been for many years. And you get to see the history of Dublin, as well as the history of the great views that you're going to get across Dublin from it's one of the best places to overlook all of Dublin from the top floor as well. You might get a chance to have a pint of Guinness, if you like. Certainly, you might even get a chance to pour a pint of Guinness yourself. It's very much an Instagram-ready location where you can just make a memory with some friends and show it to people as part of your memory of Dublin. And as very much a change of pace, we've also organised a tea bus tour of Dublin. It's a bus tour around Dublin where you actually have a cup of tea, a cup of coffee, some nice cakes. You'll drive around in and out of Dublin, see the sights as well, from the comfort of a bus where you don't, if the weather is not great, which it does rain in Dublin, in Ireland occasionally, you might be able to have a look around the place as well. And for people who are a little bit more active, we've also organized a walking tour, also happening on the Tuesday. So you can have a wander in and out of all the old Viking streets, the old Norman streets, all the old streets in and out and around Dublin. You get to see the castles, you get to see the Dove Linns. You'll get to see old historic Dublin and see it through the ages from the 15th, 16th, 17th century up to the modern times as well.
Yeah, it's fantastic. That vintage tea bus is brilliant for some of the Georgian architecture and different things that you're able to see throughout Dublin. That look, Dublin is we're very fortunate in Dublin that the access from so many different European countries is so easy, and you are literally coming from the airport into the center of the city where you're able to explore everything. And you from the actual convention center, you're less than a 5-minute walk to Trinity College or to the main shopping streets within Dublin as well. So it's absolutely set up for people to have that balance of really important kind of thematic discussions, but also have build a great memory of a time spent in Dublin. So I'm just going to bring back in Walter and Oleksii. That I guess just closing out for people, I guess the call to action is that, as Walter said, what are you waiting for? There's registration is still open. You can still submit posters. The website is ICSB2025.com. So you're able to go on the website and see all of that detail of what's happening within the social program, and also exactly how you register or submit abstracts. Walter, do you have any closing message? I think you've already told them what are you waiting for. So anything else you want to give to the
we
community?
just hope to see you in Dublin. That's my closing message. I would be looking forward to meeting you.
Yeah, absolutely. We already have a good crowd already registered and coming to Dublin, and it's going to be a fantastic occasion at the start of October. So just to remind people, ICSB2025.com, and we hope to see you in Dublin. Thanks a million to my guests today for joining us, and as we said, we'll see you in Dublin soon.